So I actually forgot to post my video right after class, so I'm hoping this doesn't get received too late, Tom. So my reflections from class. Well, to begin with, I was kind of sad we didn't end up discussing the fourth paradigm video or paper because I actually thought that this was really interesting. Less interesting about what the fourth paradigm is, but more interested in his suggestions for where academic publishing may go. Because I've long thought about the fact that publicly funded projects do not have public access to the research that ends up getting published out of these projects. So to me, that seems, I don't know, kind of illegal or I don't know, against the idea of publicly funding science or something like this. But then even further, what he was talking about, which is creating public data archives, it really plays into a discussion we had, I guess 2 weeks before in class when we were talking about, who owns big data, and we sort of started pressing on whether amateurs should be able to have access to the same big data that professionals do. And in talking to Misha, the guy who presented in class, he had shown me some reports saying that actually when you put big data out to the public, you end up with better results, more truthful results, more analyses, more perspectives on big data sets than you do when companies own them. And so, for instance, with Bitly, apparently they really push to have everything that they do as open data because they've gotten pretty much the best stuff that way as far as analyses go and insight into the data when you have a lot of eyes looking at it. And it's not when you start thinking about the problem of amateur versus expert, you also may realize that even though someone is an expert with big data, that doesn't mean there's other experts that aren't getting access to it. And really, for the amateur, the best thing that he or she can get is a lot of expert looks at something. So whenever big data is privately owned, then you basically end up with a situation where only one expert with a bias is looking at something. So to amend something I said last week in my reflection is that I think actually more experts should be looking at big data as well. And that gets back to the fourth paradigm paper, where I really think that data archives of large public research funded projects should be open so that a lot of professors from different fields can take a look at the stuff, also so that other people can perhaps debunk things sometimes. I mean, I know just this past year some Harvard professors had to go back on a lot of claims they made about the economy, in particular stuff with the housing crisis, and it had turned out they had done some really big analysis all wrong. So to me, that's something that could be engaged with by having public data archives. But I'm looking forward to getting more into big data ownership. But this particular issue of trying to build out large archives as well as large publication resources that are completely public, I think is a really good idea, and for me is hopeful in what the fourth paradigm can bring. Okay, well, that will be my reflection video for the week. Thanks.